And then you moved to LA like a couple months later.
Yeah.
Unrelated.
And then we started the pod, and then we became friends.
Yeah. We were like, we weren't friends until we started the podcast, really.
Oh my gosh.
We'd like shot sex scenes with each other, but that doesn't mean anything.
Right. Yeah.
That's like getting lunch.
Hi, gay. I'm PJ Brescia, they, them pronouns, your host of the BabyGay Podcast and the founder of the BabyGay community, celebrating the coming out process through storytelling, advocacy, and togetherness. I came out later in life and I knew nothing about queer culture. I'm still not an expert, so let's go on a journey of self-discovery together with amazing guests, diverse coming out stories, LGBTQI plus history, and everything in between. This is the BabyGay Podcast. Coming out looks good on you. Today we are at the historic Black Cat in Silver Lake, California with our incredible hosts, OJ Stellar and Sidney Summers of the Online Forever podcast.
Yay!
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. Such a pleasure.
One of our first episodes, so it's a big deal. And you're my first two guests on one interviewer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
First threesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
It's an honor. It feels great so far.
I'm just happy to be making so much unadulterated eye contact with you for this long.
I know.
It's great.
Let's not blink the whole time.
I don't blink. And I refuse.
I do too. Do you wear contacts?
No. I have
Do you?
perfect 20/20.
I do.
Do you?
Sorry.
Perfect 20/20?
Yeah.
I have horrible vision.
What is it? 2010?
-4.
-4.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you have?
That's such a great question. I have an astigmatism.
Okay.
Not to get into my trauma.
Yeah.
But
No, let's dive in. This is what it's all about. Yeah. No, well, firstly, I'm a little nervous because you on your podcast, you all sound very intelligent and I don't feel that. I don't feel that.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
yeah, it's seriously.
Because I feel like we're bottom of the barrel on our podcast.
Yeah, I feel like it's the lowest hanging fruit. No, we
How can we
try.
be so drunk if we're sober? Just like the vibe.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we do try to give you little tidbits of information.
There's a lot of
so
tidbits.
I'm happy that you're picking up on that.
Yeah. Like the Roman Empire element.
Huge.
All her.
I didn't know that until like in the past year, and it's the weird stat that people think about it once a day or something like that.
What?
It's not
Who?
That's
Not
the
me.
average.
Not
It's
me.
men.
Not me either.
Men
Yeah.
are tipping the scales. Men are living.
How
in the
are they
Roman
doing
Empire.
studies on people's thoughts?
Okay. Well,
I have an answer.
what's that podcast that we love?
Oh,
Telepathy
telepathy
tapes.
tapes.
Yeah, I'm on episode 3. It's insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Telepathy Tapes podcast has surpassed Joe Rogan.
Good.
Yeah.
Also, to answer your previous question,
Yes.
So they can hook up to like parts of your brains and say something like "think about a dog" or like "think about your father," and then they read how those are like affecting the brainwaves on a graph, basically, and then they know when you're thinking about that thing. And actually, they've done dream studies. They can tell what people are dreaming about using the same technology.
Wow. That's
Right?
crazy.
Right.
Wow. Have you? I'm pretty sure you haven't. But any sleep studies?
I've
Have you
never
done any sleep
partaken
studies?
any, no, but I would. Are
yeah.
you a good sleeper?
I would say yeah.
I would say we both are big sleepers.
Big on sleep. Really,
Yeah.
really
Me
never
too.
been less than 8 hours a night kind of a person ever.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And like that, I was kind of like thinking about that for Kamala during campaign. I'm like, how physically, how do they go on campaign and, show up
Yeah.
and perform
Right.
multiple times a day, every day for like months and months and months? Like
Yeah.
it's intense.
I'm thinking peptides.
Peptides.
I'm thinking IVs.
Yeah, IVs.
Cold plunges. I don't know. Everything that Huberman talks about.
Have you done the IVs before?
I love the IVs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a minute, but
I've only done
I
it
love them.
once.
Me too. And it was very necessary
Yeah.
in my life that day.
Yeah.
yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Tell us.
Oh. We got drunk.
Dare I
as
say
they
white girl wasted?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we had a podcast to film the next day.
Right.
And I passed out at your house, which I'm not a sleepover person. If it is at all possible, I will be going home to my own bed. But I woke up sitting up basically on her chair in her living room. And we had a podcast to do. So we were like, we need an emergency. So we like got the nurses to come over and give us
And we got massages too.
Wow.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then we proceeded to record one of the worst podcasts we've ever done.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it did well on YouTube, and I still don't understand why. It's because it was people from the adult entertainment, and sometimes they just bring in the views. The gooners are thirsty.
They love to see two women suffering.
Were you bringing what you were experiencing to the episode, or were you trying to ignore it?
Both.
Yeah.
It was impossible to ignore it. We were trying our hardest.
It was hard, and I was like,
We were interviewing two people who are like obsessed with Bitcoin. We let them talk way too much about Bitcoin. We couldn't stop it. It was hard.
Yeah.
Now, what do you guys know about quantum computers?
Yeah. Oh.
Because that shit is crazy, and I don't want to go too off, but it's like all I've been thinking about
quantum
lately.
Tell us,
computers. Yeah,
please.
tell
Okay,
us.
so basically, this month, well, actually, sorry, December,
Okay.
they have developed quantum computers to the point that this computer was able to solve a math problem that would have taken our most advanced supercomputer 10 septillion years to
Septillion.
complete, which is the
Septillion?
amount
Yeah,
of
how
time
many
since the
is that?
Big Bang till now. And it did it in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Explain the difference between
So-
supercomputer and quantum computer.
So a supercomputer is just like basic electricity, like it's the best that we can make. Quantum computer, I fully do not claim
Aliens.
to understand.
Yeah.
It's aliens.
For sure.
They actually
Aliens.
think that
For
it's
sure.
literally like tapping into a different dimension. So basically what it does is, in quantum physics, how there's two particles, somehow they're related, they can be separated as far as possible, but they still, like, when one switches the direction, the other one switches it. So basically they figured out how to use that in a computer whereby these two particles acting together can represent both a 1 and a 0 at the same time, instead of just
Non-binary.
a binary. Non-binary.
computer.
the non-binary binary. Because the binary is the computer language, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the binary has become non-binary
Yep.
of the computer.
Amen.
sphere. And
Thank you.
God,
Shout out to our
Yeah.
them quantum
Yes.
computers. But
Yes.
quantum computers, they figure they're so fast and they can represent so many different options at once that they will eventually, once the technology is there, render Bitcoin completely useless because they'll be able to like quickly decipher the encryption in like seconds, basically.
Oh.
And deciphering the encryption of a Bitcoin does what to the Bitcoin?
It allows it to steal them.
Yeah, you could steal one.
Oh,
Right.
oh, counterfeit Bitcoin? Is that what we're talking about, or no?
I think it would just, these computers could basically just steal the bitcoins
Steal.
from the holder of the Bitcoin.
Oh, and the computers are doing it.
Not yet. The technology's not there because they have to be at 0 degrees Kelvin to work. Which
Oh,
is
the
like,
Kelvin.
God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I always in science classes. I can't take Kelvin seriously. I can't when they say Kelvin, and I just start dying laughing. It's just such a silly name, and I don't know. Kelvin's in the closet, and we wish
It's true.
we wish Kelvin the best.
Well, Kelvin might be non-binary.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
And for the listeners that never fully grasped the Kelvin, what is the Kelvin? Is
Kelvin is
the
absolute 0, right?
oh, I
Or
thought it
0
was like
degrees Kelvin
a measurement
of temperature.
I thought it was
Oh, yeah.
Celsius,
Yeah.
Fahrenheit, Kelvin.
Kelvin.
But Kelvin, yeah, but
Kelvin is kind of like-
Kelvin. Oh,
This is an
who
educated book.
Yeah, who is
Yeah.
Kelvin?
Who is
is
Kelvin?
Kelvin?
Who is
Right.
Did you excel at science? I feel like
I love science.
Yeah.
I do.
it reads.
I really liked anatomy and physiology.
Oh,
I got a 101, I believe.
Wow.
I took that class twice in college and I did pretty poorly both times.
I'm surprised.
I know.
How many bones are there in the body?
206?
Yes.
Like, you just know that?
Well, I actually read it from her mind.
Yeah, I know.
I believe that.
see
That
that?
I believe. That I believe.
And
okay.
PJ's case 207.
Yeah, I got
Wait, why?
That's
Oh,
right.
Well, we don't know. Don't assume
Don't
the
assume,
genitals. Well, okay, something to tie in the telepathy tapes podcast
Yes.
and science
Yes.
class.
Yes.
I just remembered that this girl in my science class one day was like, can you ever read people's minds? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, watch this. And it was chemistry class, and our chemistry professor, who is very much like a Breaking Bad type of chemistry teacher,
Okay.
just to say that. Yeah. But he was talking, and she was mouthing everything he was saying as he was saying it. She was like, sometimes I can just like do this.
I can kind of do that too.
Oh.
Wait, is that not like that's not everyone can do that?
I feel like everyone can, but surely not everyone knows. that
Taps and
They don't tap. They're not tap dancing into it.
I do feel like I've done that before.
Now that I believe. Because at your New Year's party, you're just manifesting everything that's happening.
Yeah.
You're like, actually, your friend is coming here for the party,
Yeah.
and then it happened.
And then it happened. Yeah.
Shout out to Kate, who I love.
She needs to.
Where is she? She needs to
fine ass on
sit
this podcast
right here.
as well.
I know, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad that you guys met. Yeah, at PJ's, I was gonna say Halloween, New Year's party, we were like, we're gonna leave because we have to go do something. And the whole time you were like, no,
That's not going to work.
you're actually not gonna be leaving. And then we didn't.
That was a success.
Powerful
Powerful.
person.
Yeah. Manifestations. Let's go in there. Let's get witchy.
Please.
I would love nothing more.
I have always felt a kinship to witches. I remember, and this can go to gender and everything. I remember kindergarten. I deeply wanted to be a witch for Halloween, and my mom and dad were not so excited about that. And I was not forced, but I was a red Power Ranger instead. Me and every other male in that,
Yeah, a boy witch.
boy witch. Yeah, exactly. And then I mid trick or treating, I kind of had a temper tantrum.
Yep.
And went home and put on my witch outfit.
Where'd you get the witch outfit?
You know, just back up in the closet. You know, just your
made it
classic.
appear?
Yeah, I made it appear, and she appeared. I've always, and like witches, Roald Dahl witches. I've always loved. Hocus Pocus. I haven't seen number 2. I've heard mixed reviews.
I was like
Same.
that as a kid too. Like, hadn't before even being really like exposed to witchcraft, I was like, I need a robe. I need to make myself a robe, and I need to make potions out of plants for some reason.
Yes. And at recess, me and my friend would play witches/fairies.
Yeah.
And we'd go and like make stick soup and like,
Yes. I did the 6 soup. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever make fairy houses?
No.
What about pinecone babies?
What are wait?
Pinecone babies?
Not a universal experience.
I'd love an
Yeah.
explanation.
Yeah. Let's hear about that.
Well, when a mommy pine cone and a daddy pine cone love each other very much. No, I'm just kidding. Basically, you take a pine cone, shove rocks into the seeds to make it look like a face, shove sticks in for arms and legs. There you have a pine cone baby.
Oh.
When you say the seeds,
yeah.
They're like
the whole like the gaps,
the gaps.
the gaps. I purchased some pine cones. I don't know if you noticed them in my house for seasonal cinnamon pine cones. You have to have it in your home December.
Your home smells, incredible.
Oh,
Let's
thank
just go
you.
there. Yeah.
I tried. I got the Fraser fir. Shout out to Fraser fir. It's a really good scented candle for the holidays. My sister sent it to me last year, and it's like special. And I was like, I'm gonna buy it for myself this year because I didn't get it from my sister this year, so I did.
But
it
you
was
also
nice.
you also have the pot going with the cinnamon and the orange.
Yes. So there's my family has my sister made a really beautiful gift. My mom passed. We'll get there, whatever. But like my sister has like a beautiful Christmas gift for us. Made assembled all the recipes. So we have a Brescia family cookbook, and in it has like Christmas scent, and it's just like cinnamon. It's like oranges, lemons. What are the spices? Cloves, yeah, cloves and all the good
Anise
stuff.
or no anise?
There wasn't anise, but you could throw some
could throw
anise
some
in
in
there.
there, yeah,
throw
why
some in
not?
there. What's the leaf that you only use one? Bay leaf, a bay leaf.
I did the Martha Stewart cloves and the orange this year. Highly recommend.
Did you see Martha?
The documentary.
Did
yeah.
I?
Yeah, did I?
That's literally you.
I
bet you did.
I loved it. I loved it so much. I was like, wait, Martha.
It was
you're
so
a
inspiring.
badass.
Yeah.
And so unsettling that the first self-made female billionaire in the U.S., they were like, you know what? Throw her in prison.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Witch hunt.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah. She didn't do any insider trading.
No.
You guys, just to
You think
make
Martha
that
Stewart
clear.
cares about 40 grand?
I mean, literally. It's crazy.
Pennies to her.
It is. I mean, I just, she's transformed. She's evolved. I think that's something that I can really relate to in the sense of just always evolving and changing and growing.
And I loved her prison journey. I loved how they talked about how it was her worst, something like that was her worst nightmare that she possibly could have imagined. And she lived through it. And afterwards she was completely free. And I was just like, wow, that
Yes.
resonates so
Yeah.
much.
Yes. Living through your biggest fears really does that too. It's so transformative.
Or just having something so stigmatizing happen to you and your brand. And then So, yeah, I mean, that really does resonate on a personal level.
Yeah,
and then you attract, I don't know, like a purer audience after that, I think.
Yes. Yeah, because like they watched you go through something and they can resonate because everyone has gone through something shameful and incredible.
It's like the authenticity. It's like just if you're authentic, no one can take that away from you.
Right.
And it's like a shield of sort. I mean, it's you don't even need a shield. It's just because you're being who you are, and if people don't like it, then fuck them. You'll attract. Don't chase. Attract.
Yes.
Attract. Let's attract.
Yes. I'd say we all attracted each other.
For sure. So, BabyGay Podcast, a mission of ours is to talk about coming out stories because it's really helpful for the people that are still in the closet who are struggling. Because I know for me, coming out later, it wasn't until I saw myself in other people that it basically was like, it's okay, you're okay, they're normal, which is obviously not a right word, but like they are normal and surviving and doing well in life. Like then it freed me to become my authentic self. Let's dive into our coming out stories or our relationship with our sexuality.
Such an easy topic.
It was so easy. I figured this out forever ago.
Yeah.
No, I'd say it's a journey. It's never ending, you know? And I also think that it's okay to have phases with it. Like there was a time in my life where I was masculine presenting and had nothing to do with femininity and rejected it completely. And there was a time, you know, where I was so sure I was a lesbian and there was, you know, whatever. It's all moving. And I'm going to pass the mic to you for a second.
Well, how do you identify if you need, I mean, and you don't have to.
The main thing I identify it as is not straight, which, you know, we can say gay, we can say queer, we can say bisexual, we can say pansexual. It all means not straight, and that's what I am.
Yeah.
I identify as a extraterrestrial, and I always knew too. Yeah.
Really? Like.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember. Oh, this is good. I remember watching. There was an Oprah episode. And this couple was on there, and they both came out to each other on the same day. And they were there with their current gay partners. And it's like the four of them, like, can you believe that we were straight once? And I remember, like, watching that and feeling like, oh, my God, what? Because I thought, like, anyone could just wake up one day and, like, oh, my God, I'm gay
like
now. Turn gay.
Yeah.
And that, like, scared me because deep down I knew that maybe that could happen to me one day if I don't like, I don't know. So as a child, it felt like scary to be gay. I came out to my mom in middle school and she was kind of like, honey, no, just because you are in love with girls and think they're gorgeous and dry hump them doesn't mean that you're bisexual. We all do that. I was like, okay, Mom. You know? And then, you know, I feel like bisexual everyone has to come out a bunch of times, you know? Yeah, it wasn't until I like brought home a girl, did my family really, they were like, oh, right.
Right.
And it was like my...
When was that?
I was in college. It was actually, I was a TA for this class, Gender, Power, and Privilege. And the other TA in the class and I, you know, got together.
That's hot.
Right.
Yeah. We expressed our gender.
We expressed our gender, power,
Very
and privilege
fitting.
together. Yeah. So we started dating and then they came out as non-binary and they also were polyamorous. So it was kind of hitting my parents with 3 things at once. And they were like, whoa. And they were annoying about it. But they're boomers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everyone needs time.
Yeah.
And now I'm really passing. Please.
A lot of what you said resonates. Hardcore, unsurprising, similar life trajectories. I don't know. I always liked boys, always liked girls. I feel like my sexuality is very wrapped up in like trauma, life story, sex work. All of that has like very much informed those things, and I'm still working through so much of that. I feel like when we were at your party and we were like let's share deepest, darkest secrets. And everyone was like, actually, I'm going to trauma dump right now.
I didn't realize that was going to be a real thing.
No,
okay.
we were all ready.
Just for the
give some
listeners, we were
backstory.
at, I hosted a little New Year, it's kind of like it's slightly impromptu New Year's Eve, fun get together, 8 people, like not many people knew of each other beforehand. We're having a great time, good energy. We're having a little backyard bonfire scenario. And someone's like, was it one of you potentially?
Yeah, it was Sidney.
It was like, let's share our deepest, darkest secrets. And I laughed. I was like, like for sure. But then it turned real. And we legitimately started going around sharing our deepest, darkest secrets. Yeah, I mean, I'm always down. I love that shit.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too,
Yeah.
truly. My dad growing up was in love with me. So I feel like because of that, I was like, looking back now, I'm like, that definitely underlined a lot of feelings I had towards men and being like really scared of them for a long time. And also feelings about gender, because I was just like, being female presenting is dangerous and just felt wrong for a long time. So yeah, all throughout my 20s, shaved head, like dressed like a boy, really only dated women for a while, still sleeping with men because also the sex addiction comes into all of it. So it's just, I don't know. There's no clear cut answers, I feel like, with my sexuality or my gender, and there never have been. And then when I started doing sex work, there's money in being feminine and presenting as ultra female and like cosplaying the girliest girl you can. And so at that point, I hated, like, I really needed people to they them me all the time before that. And once I started presenting like a girl, like that just was never gonna really like happen like that, I felt like. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna drop this militant attitude. And I love getting a they them. I love when the gays they them me, but I'm also just like, I feel like that experience has really like made my gender feel a lot more of like an internal validation that I just need from myself only.
Yeah.
Which I'm grateful for. It's nice to have that recognized, but I don't have that need as much as I used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've only been, wrapping up. I've only been,
No,
keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
I've only been dating men since I moved to LA. I will also say my sexuality has been like very bipolar almost, where it's like a woman breaks my heart and then I date men, and then a man breaks my heart and then I have to date women.
Yes.
And like, I've only really been dating men since I moved to LA, and I've found it to be so harrowing. And I've just been taking a break from dating in general, mostly by choice, somewhat not by choice, the last 6 months. And I'm like starting to feel like attracted to women again, and I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want or need. I feel like such a brand new person in my 30s that I'm just like, we're being authentic. We're seeing what we need day by day.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are my initial
We're attracting.
thoughts.
We're not chasing.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A partner is not going to make
Fill
my
you,
life better
yeah.
or fulfill me in that way. And I definitely have like chased that feeling for a long time, and now I'm like, I give that to myself. And I think in your 30s you realize being with the wrong person is so much energetically worse than just
gosh.
being alone.
It's so much worse.
It's
God.
horrible.
draining.
Yes.
You're going
Draining.
negative.
Yes.
Being alone, let's say it's 0, you go
Right.
negative with the wrong person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yeah, if you want to become super unhealthy and lose 30 pounds, you just
best
need
diet
to
plan.
just date an avoided man. And have that anxiety just wither you
really,
away.
really eat you away.
eat you alive.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, when I get emotional, I eat. So it's the opposite, other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Sadly. But
Sometimes
hear
I go there. Mostly I go there. Sometimes it's like the anxiety makes me not want to eat.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we share the same therapist, and
Yes!
she gave me really great advice because she's insanely incredible. Shout out.
Yeah.
But it was basically, she saw in me, and she's so right, that I was unhealed from previous relationships. And she's like, let's start with making a list of the qualities that you are looking for in a partner. What the good of your previous relationships, let's take that, put that in a list. and then also heal these past relationships, because you can't go into this next future relationship
gripping those.
And also, if you go in like needing a new partner, you're coming in with desperation and desperate energy. So then you're attracting a partner that is on that level. So you want to be healed from the past to be on a higher level to attract that healed partner.
Yeah.
Is what she shared with me. And I'm like, oh, right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, she is amazing. And I think Sid might be.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah.
You should just have an intro call.
A little consult.
Yeah, have a little
week.
consult.
Twice a week.
No, I would say twice a month, but
I mean, I would go twice a week if I
a little
could.
daily check-in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I would go once or twice a month.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
It's
It's
really
not like
powerful.
regular talk therapy because it's hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like each session is like a year's worth of talk therapy.
Yeah.
It has really leveled up my life.
Yes.
Have you noticed a difference in me?
Yeah.
Yes. But I feel like, I mean, so the first session is where the last 20 minutes I'll speak for mine. The last 20 minutes of the 2-hour intake, which was supposed to only be an hour and a half, turned into 2 hours.
She goes
favorite?
over.
She doesn't care. Yeah, I know. She like doesn't care. I'm like, all right. I'll keep talking all day long. So the last 20 minutes was the hypnosis part, and it's like she's using goals that we had talked about and like dream things that I want to achieve in my life, like large scale. Kind of incorporated that into the hypnosis of that last 20 minutes, and then sent that recording afterwards. And then the first homework was to like listen to that every day. And I have never gotten homework from a previous therapist that I've wanted to do for some reason. And this one I was doing it twice a day. Like I was so excited I was doing it when I woke up and at night. I mean, I'm not.
You really are her favorite.
I am not doing that anymore. I should circle back to that. But it was sure just, the different style. Find a therapist. It's like dating. You're going to go through a lot of bad ones until you find someone that clicks. But when it clicks, it's good.
Yeah. And I was skeptical of the hypnotherapy of it all, but she is extracting things that you say and using the words that came from you to hypnotize you. Nothing is that she says is coming from herself.
Yeah.
Which
I think is why it's so effective and why it's legitimate. Yeah.
Also, she is like the perfect amount of interjection of her own experience and her life. I've had therapists that talk way too much. I'm like, am I paying you or are you paying me? And then also, while looking for a therapist, I was told as a piece of advice, ask them if they're in therapy, because it's important that your therapist is in therapy.
Right.
And in our consult, I think she brought it up. And I was like,
yes.
Wow. So the coming out, so then it's been
coming out.
Yeah. Hey, Baby Gays, if you're enjoying the podcast and you're interested in learning more about the Baby Gay community, make sure to visit our website at www.baby.gay to discover more info about our events, merch, and all the ways to connect. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and share. Love you. So the coming out, so then it's been
coming out.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I was like with most things in my life, like I've always been just out in general, very comfortable talking about things with everyone except for my parents. But coming out to my parents was like, with my mom, something I did multiple times would be like, I'm dating this woman. And she'd be like, where did you say your apartment was again? Like, I cannot hear you, like wall up, like cannot acknowledge what was just said. And so definitely learned to just not talk about that with her. And then my dad, I guess I came out to him officially when I was like 21. I was dating a woman and I was like posting her online. And I went out with my dad for dinner like before I was about to go study abroad. And he was like, really asked me really casually offhand, like, are you dating this person? And I said, yeah. And like, we were at a public, in a restaurant in public, all of the blood drained from his face, did not speak to me for like 30 straight minutes after that. Like my brother was there too, and we were just like awkwardly sitting at the dinner table, just like talking to each other.
Wait, was your girlfriend there too?
No, it was just me and my dad and my brother. And he like eventually like resumed trying to be normal, called me after dinner and was like, I feel like my reaction was really weird, but I just don't understand. Like, is this a phase? And I was like, I don't really think so. And just, yeah, very, very disapproving, very hard for some reason for them to wrap their head around me being with women, which I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand at all.
Well, your dad was just jealous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my mom's probably jealous too, because I think my mom would be so much happier if she were a lesbian. I'm not gonna lie.
All moms would be happier.
No, everything she says about her husbands that she has, I'm like, women don't do that. You could literally be so much
Emphasis on
happier.
husbands.
Right. Anyway, so that was my coming out to my parents. Not a fun time. Wouldn't recommend it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Do you go into your coming out story?
Yeah. I mean, mine was I came out at 27, and it was basically I got to a point in my life where I was just running from all these different things: my sexuality, my mom's death, and the fact that I wanted to be a creative. I wanted to be an actor, and I had that link to if people knew I wanted to be an actor, they'd think I was gay. So it's all interwoven, and I was very much on this, I didn't think for myself until literally 27 years old. I came from outside of New York City suburb that was very Wall Street focused. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be Wall Street because that's what I'm going to do. So I did
Martha
that.
Literal Stewart.
Yeah, right, a little, I mean, now they say it's a little, I'm kidding, but so then I went to college, was doing the Wall Street thing, studied abroad. Wait, where did you study abroad? I want to hear about that.
In the Netherlands.
Oh.
Yeah, because they were gay. And I was like, going to the gay country.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I studied in Spain, in Granada, and it was so incredible. I loved it, but it was also, looking back, that was definitely the first time I fell in love with a man who was my intercambio, my Spanish intercambio. So it was the part of the program is they set you up with a Spanish person that's your age, that wants to learn English. So
they want to learn more than
Antonio. Shout out to Antonio. I was madly in love with you. So then it gets juicy because it was within, because I went to Granada to get away from English. So I was living with a family, and then I made a group of Spanish friends, which was awesome, all guys. And then I brought all the American girls. So then my best girlfriend started dating Antonio, and I was heartbroken. Yeah. And I just remember I just remember sitting in my room crying for hours and hours and hours. And looking back, I'm like, how the fuck how can I so disassociate? Because I still was, I did not consider myself gay at that time.
The ability to compartmentalize and delude yourself is bottomless.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly.
Was there any part of that forced delusion? Were you telling yourself that you were in love with your girlfriend and being like, oh, Antonio got her?
No, definitely not that. No, it was not that. It was, I think I was telling myself I was sad and felt left out. So it was we were all a group and now they're going off and not including me. So I feel that was the sadness that I was probably storytelling myself.
I feel alone.
Yeah, I feel
Which
alone.
You did,
yeah, right. Right, because I was madly in love with Antonio. And then they ended up dating for years. But I'm very close with Sam. Shout out to Sam. Love you. But it was so funny because I don't think I ever told her until many years, 10 years later. And I casually dropped. She's like, yeah, I was madly in love with Antonio. She's like, wait, what? I was like, oh yeah, right, yeah.
Wow.
But she's married and with beautiful children, so.
Wow.
But yeah, he moved to the States. He moved to Boston to be with her. So he continued on in our life.
He really kept pushing the knife further.
He kept pushing the. And then, so we get back. So that was junior year. Now we're starting senior year. So Sam and I are really close. And I start dating one of Sam's roommates from day one of senior year, Anastasia. And Anastasia was my senior year girlfriend.
Beard.
It was a beard. Yeah, it was a beard. I mean, sexuality is a spectrum. I've had 2 female relationships in my life that stand out to me that I truly love these women, and it felt authentic. So, but I don't consider myself bi. I consider myself gay. But yeah, it's a spectrum, people. It's a spectrum.
Yeah, truly.
It's a spectrum. Okay, let's talk about your podcast.
Okay.
The foundations, the evolutions, all the above. Best moments, worst moments, highlights.
Okay. Well, we started out October 2022, right? And the first season is very much us being porn stars interviewing porn stars. And so it was very much that. And then I'd say we went through some shit in the industry that was like
eye-opening.
very eye-opening
about ourselves, I think.
about ourselves and about like what we were
And that world.
what we were pedestalizing, what we were like telling the world we were okay with, and it just like we broke down in more ways than one, and then we
Never came back. No,
we
I'm just kidding.
never came
We did
back.
not recover.
We did not recover, and I'm hoping ayahuasca will
Yes.
heal that. No, but so we switched studios, and then we kind of switched vibes.
In regard to the podcast. So was the, I'm just kind of, is it, you had started the podcast, then in your career, you felt some negative, I don't know if there was a specific experience or just general, just
Several experiences, very disillusioning about.
Yeah.
Just.
But
what we
isn't
were-
it interesting that you've already then created this platform to kind of discuss, I don't know how much you discussed of that experience on your podcast, but
too much?
Too much. Yeah, we were really
Okay.
like updating our listeners in real time of what was going on.
okay.
And not all of it is still up, but I will give like a cliff notes, I guess. Like there was this male performer in the adult industry, which like most of them are evil, right? And yeah, I had a really like horrifying Lifetime movie-esque true crime experience with him, and kind of like, you know, sharing that with you and sharing that with other friends in the industry. The reaction to it was even more upsetting than like the harsh reality of that experience. And it was like, oh, these people don't care about they don't care about anything that they're pretending to care about. They just care about money to become, you know, very successful in like the OnlyFans top 1%, like the people that everyone hears about. If you are working with other people, everyone feels this pressure to like rat race to the top, and the I call it the Kazumification of adult content, where it's like the shock factor, that goalpost keeps moving. It's like you go into a podcast and you're like, oh, I was having sex with 500 men a night, whatever, and then she goes viral and makes millions in a second, and then another girl comes around, she sees that, she says, oh, I need to do something similar, so then she has sex with 1,000 men in a day and has a whole documentary made about it. It's like that goalpost keeps moving, and I'd love to say that is really empowering. I'd love to believe that, but in my own experience and knowing some of these people personally, I can say that it's not, and that there's a lot of like mental gymnastics of like, I'm empowered, this is my choice, you know, financial freedom is more important than anything.
And being around everyone in that echo chamber like really creates this like
the porn bubble.
collectively shared delusion.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, so people really like push themselves to do crazier and crazier things, and just keep their schedules booked so they don't have any time to like sit and think.
Right.
And
Yeah.
think. When we both moved to LA, our social circles were pretty adult entertainment based, and now I would say like really just each other and Lena are the only people left from that world, I'd say. And I wish them all the best.
Yeah.
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I
it's
really
evolution.
do. Like,
It's growing. It's,
yeah.
yeah.
But so yeah, then we transitioned out of that. We actually
sorry. Side question was there backlash from you sharing from your podcast? Like, were you getting?
Yes.
There was. Okay.
Yes, especially like talking about because also our boundaries started tightening, and then we'd go to do a collab with somebody, shoot a scene, and realize like weird feeling inside, we don't have to do this, so then we don't, and we talk about it on the podcast, and then we're being threatened with lawsuits and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd say we were like porn girlies, then we were porn whistleblowers, and then we were like, let's go into comedy.
It's your natural progression.
Right. I mean, all comedians won't shut the hell up about porn anyway,
Right.
so might as well get some people that know what they're talking about up there.
And I would just like to say, first of all, that we both did comedy before we did porn.
Exactly.
And second of all, that's fine if we didn't, but we
Right.
did. And third of all, kind of weird, spiritual, quick diversion. Like,
Please.
I feel like so blessed for so many reasons for my time in the adult industry, but it was like definitely like such a like shadowy part of myself, and like my addictions like completely gripping my life. And like I feel like cosmically that time in my life has given me a lot of resources that I'm very grateful for now. But I don't know, looking back, it's just like, what a crazy thing that happened. And I feel more back on track and more aligned now. But yeah, I don't know. It's almost like God was like, you need to go make some money and it's going to be really dark for a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if that,
No, that definitely resonates with me for sure. Because before porn, like we said, we did like performance and comedy, and you did a lot of improv, I did a lot of burlesque, and we both did some comedy.
You didn't know each other before then, or did you know each other before?
No, actually, the way that we met is pretty cosmic.
Oh.
I was on a road trip from Maine to LA, coming to move out here. Made a pit stop in New Orleans, as you do, right? Shout out to my friend Eddie Lockwood, aka Davi, amazing burlesque performer there. And me and my ex and that friend I just mentioned were at the strip club, right? Making it rain. And then who do I see? This little peach right here.
also making it rain.
Also, yeah. She was on stage.
We crossed streams.
We crossed streams. She was like, wait, like knew each other from online, and then you moved to LA like a couple months later,
Yeah.
unrelated.
And
You
then
were
we
doing
started
it
the
anyway.
pod, and then we became friends.
Yeah, we were like,
Oh, wow.
we weren't
Yeah.
friends until we started the podcast. Really.
Oh my gosh.
We'd like shot like
Yeah.
sex scenes with each other, but that doesn't mean anything.
Right. Yeah.
That's like getting lunch.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Last season, we kind of focused heavily on this transition to comedy, and it was kind of weird and awkward, but fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're hitting a good. I feel like we're both getting a lot funnier.
I agree.
You're both hilarious.
Thank
So, yes.
One of the questions that we got once was like, have you experienced any pushback from comedians in your pivot to comedy? And I loved your response. You were like, no, we're too hot for that, which is so funny. But I don't know. It's interesting because comedians, like many other industries, it's like, you gotta do the open mics, you gotta climb the ladder, you gotta like spend your time in the dish pit before you become the star server or whatever. And it is kind of that vibe, but having a kind of starting it off with a platform from porn, I feel like we're both really trying to not focus on sexual jokes, really try to like not using our porn stage names with it, and really trying to do it the right way.
And it's like it's a lot more vulnerable, and I would say more challenging in a lot of ways to be funny on demand online in real life at mics than it is to be sexual and to be hot. Like being sexual and hot is it takes effort, obviously, for some of us.
Yeah.
But being funny and exposing yourself in that way has just been a crazy spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Truly.
Like picture yourself, you write a little joke and you go and perform the joke. The parts of the joke that you think are going to do well, don't.
Yep.
And then the part that is like a filler sentence, everyone's like, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then you have to like start making then you're rewriting it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that process of rewriting your art to better fit the audience and try to keep it still for yourself at the same time. Cause it's a spiritual journey. Yeah.
I feel like what is with that? Because I can totally relate in the sense of you think that something's going to be a hit or go viral and in the comedy of it all, and then it doesn't, and then the thing that you just like didn't think anything about and you just post it and it goes mega viral, and it's like, wait, what? Like
I think it is that energetic
Yes.
when you don't give a
authenticity.
fuck,
Yeah.
it's like that's what people
There's
like.
a lot of
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
I
The
think.
one takes will always go viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
The one that you like planned out for hours and you're so excited to
Yeah, you
upload.
think it's so funny and smart.
But if
and
it's
blah,
like
blah.
you could feel the forced,
Yeah.
this one better fucking hit, then it might be
yeah.
like give the person the ick and they're like,
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, like I mean, how do we feel about AI? Scary or cool? Somewhere in the middle.
Future, scary, current, useful.
Yeah, I mean, environmentally scary.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Agree.
When I'm gonna confess something
Yeah.
here. I didn't realize that the internet had like a physical component. I thought it was like, woo,
The waves.
wow.
Yeah.
But no.
They
Yeah.
say the weight of the internet is about 1 strawberry.
Wait.
What?
Right. Like all the electrons that compose it.
What?
Even though electrons are technically weightless.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow.
How big is the strawberry?
Right.
Chocolate covered?
Is it chocolate?
Yeah.
Is it dark chocolate?
But the weight of the internet, all of its servers and everything, it's probably like
Yeah, that's where I thought it's like heavy. Yeah.
heavy, right?
But the servers, are they a part of the internet or are they facilitating the internet?
What's the difference?
Yeah.
What is the difference?
Right.
Great question.
Are the
Great
servers
question.
in control or is the internet in control?
Who is in control?
Who is in control? We're living in a post-informational.
I lean kind of like utopian in general in my thinking, which can be annoying at times. So I kind of feel that way about AI. But I'm like, it is just a technology. Like
It's
the
the new
internet
Google. It's the new
exactly. It's
Google,
like
yeah.
there's really bad shit that's gonna come from it, and there's really good shit, and we're just kind of forging ahead because of money without thinking about it, and so both are gonna happen.
Yeah.
And people are gonna lose their jobs, and then it's gonna make new jobs. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be bad. It could be really bad.
Well, when
but-
they start like turning into physical robots and they start attacking us, like that's not good.
Yeah,
Now,
I
that's
feel
my
like
favorite
we're
part.
like a sneeze away from that.
Yeah,
I
we
feel.
are. Yeah. Well, did you see Kim Kardashian's
I did.
I did.
robot?
I saw this comment on that picture where she's like, squatting next to the Tesla robot in the Tesla car, and it just said, "Kim, run."
Yeah.
Or the robot's got to run away from her.
Girl.
Who knows what she's doing with them? Is it consensual? Is my own. Can things be consensual with robots? Can there
Great
be
question.
consent without a consciousness? Oh, that's going to be a big topic in the
Yeah.
future. I'm seeing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
because you could literally have like unpaid labor from a robot that looks exactly like a human. I think about that sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh,
Kind of dark,
yeah.
but
Yeah. And putting the whores out of their jobs.
putting the
That's
whores out of
rude.
their jobs.
But do you think it'll still feel different? Don't you think? Like it's gonna
Cold.
be cold. Yeah. There's no blood. There's no.
There's no jiggle to that ass.
Yeah. Random aside, but it just keeps popping up. I don't know. What's going on with Pornhub? Is it being banned in a lot of states?
Yeah.
Yep.
Why?
There was this bill that was passed, FOSTA/SESTA. It was passed in like 2017, back in the day, which like took down things like Craigslist Backpage, for example, where like full service sex workers would, post their
The meetups and stuff like that.
yeah,
right? Or,
but for Backpage it was like paid, like it was professional,
Okay.
and so that was taken down. And this is just one example of like millions. So Backpage was taken down, and then that just made more and more sex workers go to the street rather than being able to vet and screen people through the online process.
Yeah.
So it all of those things just make everything more unsafe. And
It's just weird. I mean, like Pornhub is the #1 porn site, right?
it is, yeah. So it is a Canadian company.
Oh.
The parent company is called MindGeek, that owns Pornhub and Brazzers and Reality Kings, a bunch of other like porn companies.
Okay.
And it has been banned in Arkansas, right?
It's like age restricted.
Which
like
sounds like a really good thing, but it's just like the website's getting your
More
data
data.
and information. Yeah. Because in reality, anyone can still go on there. somehow.
Right.
Because like in California, I mean, I may or may not was on there the other day,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like the little thing pops up like, "Are you 18 or over?" It's like I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
And I
Right.
remember watching it before I was 18 and just hitting that and continuing on. So I guess in Arkansas they like make you upload your ID. Yeah.
Well, I want to. I mean, we don't have too much more time. However, I'm fascinated on like the business end of things. Like I've done some research on your podcast, and I heard a comment that was made. It was like, yeah, like $100,000 in a day or something. I was like, are people making shitloads of money?
There was a girl that made
$40
million.
$40 million in 1 year.
In 1 year.
I forget which like NBA player or whatever makes less than her. Like they did a side-by-side comparison with this athlete, and it's like, well, if she was making sex tapes, I would argue to say she's an athlete, but she's not. She's just like
a virgin.
She's a virgin, and she's like a half nipple OnlyFans girl.
But yeah, so basically, it's just marketing. It's like she went crazy on TikTok. That's all the richest girls go crazy on TikTok, or they're already celebrities.
And then they hire people to like chat from them, like 30 men in the Philippines are chatting for them all day, so they're like catfishing themselves out, which makes sense if you have like 80,000 fans.
Yeah,
you can't possibly talk to all those people
a day,
right? But this does lead to a good topic of the whorarchy.
Okay.
The hierarchy of whores, if you will. Mm-hmm. So at the very top, I would say it's like the solo cam girl. Super safe, some people would not even say that that's sex work, whatever. And that's where, what's her name? Sophie Rain? That girl? Yeah.
That's like the 40 million girl?
Yeah. That's her name. Sophie Rain. Yeah. That's
40,
like where she
was that this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
40 million.
Wow.
And that's the payout. OnlyFans took 20%. And that's what she got after the 20%.
Isn't that insane?
That is out of control. I mean, great. Good for her. That's incredible.
Right. I know.
Life-changing.
Oh, life-changing.
For her and everyone else in her life, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was this her first year? Like, is she brand new?
I think so.
She's
like, I'm pretty sure a teen.
Yeah, I think she's like 19.
TikToks, which is just crazy viral. But.
Okay, sorry.
I mean, she's
she's gorgeous.
But
and the most she showed was half a nipple.
I mean, I don't know. I think she does do some solo videos, but I'm not sure. But so that would be like at the very tip of the hierarchy of whores, the whorarchy. Okay. And then at the very bottom, I would say
like
is street-based sex workers. And there's all of these like so many judgments upon each other, like any marginalized group, like no one will come for you, like your own people, like there's so much. I remember like I was a stripper, and then moving online, like people from the strip club kind of had this feeling about me, like that I thought I was better, like because it is like safer. And then like I've definitely done full service sex work before, and like that's a whole other. I try to be like open about that because there's so much stigma about it, rather than like, I mean, a camera being there changes the whole thing. It makes it legal, and it makes it like more acceptable. Like why? Like, because it's like public consumption. Like I don't know. It's interesting, and that's a whole.
I mean, I this might be too long of a conversation, but like I don't understand that doesn't make any sense. Like now, is the camera now it's legal? No camera, not legal.
Right.
Literally, is that like the basis of?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in California, I think it's illegal still to make porn, isn't it?
What?
No.
In LA County? Yeah.
I've shot scenes in LA County.
Yeah, but that's why
Like
so many companies moved to Vegas.
I thought the moving was the condom requirement.
There is the condom requirement. Okay, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I think a lot of companies moved to Vegas also because of taxes, but I'm also
And Miami, right? Did Miami?
Yeah, well, Miami was like the laws there are different. When you see like public scenes, it's real.
They're always in Miami.
Yeah. I shot one, and I thought it was going to be like simulated, like, oh, we're out on the street. No, we were really out on the street.
In what way? Like in a car?
Like boning on the street.
Like no,
in the stairwell of a random building. And I'm really getting, if y'all saw that video, that was real. I'm really out in the stairwell, like heard someone coming, had to stop.
Right.
Well, and I was like, how is this done? They're like, oh, we just have like a deal with the Miami police. I was like,
oh, they do?
Yeah. Oh, I'm smelling some tea. Yeah. Like money.
Can we bring a quote?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to save it for our pod, but went porque no los dos.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? Yeah.
I heard this quote the other day. I read it after we saw Baby Girl. It was in a review of the movie that said, for Americans, sex is an obsession. For the rest of the world, it's a fact. And I think about that And I think about the fact that the Pilgrims came here to be even more Christian than they were allowed to be in England. And I feel like
Those damn Calvinists.
God, the Puritan. Yeah, I just feel like that Puritan energy underlies so much of the weird, bizarre legality that makes no logical sense, and is why you're able to profit so much from sex work. It's why men are able to profit so much by using women in sex work. It's just what a can of beans.
Yeah.
I mean, this country is just, it's like a preteen.
Yeah.
It's like a young adolescent who keeps on putting the fingers in the toaster. You know, it's like just not making smart choices.
Yeah.
But it's like the preteen that like did really well on the SATs or something, and now I think it's like
a little
big
cocky.
deal.
Yeah, a little cocky.
But it's still
Cocky
like the
Lou.
brain is still pea
Now that's so
size.
funny because I see America as like a 21-year-old frat boy.
Oh well, yeah. That's where it's going. That's where it's going. We're not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost.
Oh man, what's your favorite thing about this country? What makes
flag.
you proud to be an American?
Proud to be American.
Red, white, and badass.
I think I think something that I take for granted, but then you go other places, you're like, oh wait, actually, America is so diverse, and we are an amalgamation of so many different cultures that, you know, living in LA, having every single ethnic food choice at your fingertips and it's delicious is so kind of standard. And like, I take it for granted, and then I go somewhere else, I'm like, wait, no, I want that again. Like, it's so, I think my favorite part is the diversity, honestly.
Love that. And that is another reason they want that damn TikTok data so bad, because the U.S. is actually the most representative of the population of the whole world.
Right.
Which
That
is
makes
so
sense.
interesting.
That does make sense.
Wow, good for us. I would think it's Brazil, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then for our last segment, it's called My First Time, and we have our guests share our first queer kiss, crush, date, sexual experience, whatever you want to share.
Oh my God.
That's so cute. Okay.
Okay, this wasn't my very first, but it was an early one that was impactful and hilarious to me. But when I was a junior in high school, so the summer after that, I went to this thing called Girls State. Did y'all have that?
Girls'
No.
Day?
Girls State.
No.
Girls' State.
It's
No.
like this government, like fake government program for teens.
Oh, cute.
Okay. It's like a summer thing. And so there's like 800 girls there. There's the red team and there's the blue team. You're there for a week, and each one elects a representative to become the governor. So there's 400 girls, red, 400 blue, and they each pick one person who's like running for governor. And the blue team picked me.
Oh.
Right? Flex. And this whole week at this very conservative camp, I was hooking up
With the other governor.
No. Oh my God. That girl was evil, and I should have won. I lost by 7 votes to the most redneck ass, I swear. Anyway, more on that. But no, I was hooking up with this girl from my high school, and it was really cute. And I remember God. I remember like the night before the election, we were hooking up, and I was like, I had never gone down on a girl before. And I know, sorry, like so X-rated, but I was like, looking at her, and I was like, okay, I should just do it. Like, just like be brave, like just do it. And I just like literally couldn't. I was like too scared. I was like, I'm so sorry, I can't. And she was like, I don't care. But anyway.
That's cute. Okay,
Yeah.
so the story of the first is actually an almost.
And almost.
Well, we
Love
were
that.
doing some handplay.
Everything
Okay.
but, yeah.
Everything but.
Everything but.
So yeah. Yeah, that was one of my early gay experiences.
I guess I'll tell my hall pass story because this was big for me. The only times this isn't my first, but it was my first time hooking up with a girl sober in high school, because I feel like I would have these ballet sleepovers and we'd have drinks of vodka and we'd be like, wow, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then and I had a boyfriend as well. Oopsie. And I told him about it, and he was like, you need to figure out if you're a lesbian. You know, we're teenagers, so we're dumb. We don't know what's going on. And he was like, you need to figure out if you're a lesbian, and you need to go and have sex with a girl sober so you can figure it out for once and for all. So I got the hall pass, and the next day I go and have sex with this girl because I had one in mind, you know. So we go and we do it, and I was really nervous to go down on her as well. I was so scared, but I was like, let's do it, and I did it. And then I call him after. I'm like, I did it, you know. And he's like, what? Like he didn't think I was actually going to use it.
Within 24 hours.
And I was like, this is real. It's not just something that happens when I'm drunk. Like I am gay, right? And then she broke my heart because she went to school and told everyone that rumors about me from years before that I had a fake vagina were true.
Does that need more context? Just the fake vagina is such a wild concept.
I know.
Yeah.
And you'll have to listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
Intersex representation.
Right.
But yes.
LGBTQIA.
IA plus.
Right.
Plus.
The I.
She's the I. We are all the I. And that's not true.
Did you guys know that the Q is for... Wait.
I've heard two different
questioning?
things.
I'm like, questioning doesn't deserve to be in
or
the...
queer.
What's next? Allies?
Let's add an S in there too for the straights.
Well, we'll wrap this up here. I think this is a good time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here on the
BabyGay
Podcast.
Yay. Thank
really,
you so much for having us.
Appreciate it. Where can people follow you?
Follow the podcast at Online Forever Pod on Instagram and YouTube. OnlineForever.net.
OnlineForever.net. All your needs met.
Oh,
Right.
that's
All
good.
of them. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
hope that this was good.
This was great. This was amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yay. You'll come back.